It was just a building that had come to our attention for a kind of friend when I think a poster went up in the window saying, due to change of ownership, we'll be closing. And I thought, we need to come and look at this site when I was told how beautiful it was by the friend. And we came straight here, and within, I think, 15 seconds of pulling up in the car park, we decided it was something we needed to pursue. Mm-hmm. And we actually agreed the terms to take it kind of out of the grasp of the person that was meant to be taking it, without even stepping foot inside. We literally saw your video, strangely on YouTube, that I think you filmed a couple of years back, and the visual impact it had from the outside. And that was the decision we made. It was just something we almost kind of fell in love with. It's not something I normally do, to be fair. I normally think with my brain, not my heart, but I just fell in love with it. And then when we came inside, it was actually better than we'd imagined, which is always a good thing when you've already made a decision like that. But yeah.
So, I mean, we were talking just before we started about the ebbs and flows of hospitality, maybe the ebbs and flows of any business. I mean, in your experience, how have you looked to target, how have you looked to frame creating a business that can be sustained through winter, through slower months, rather than, like, how do you look at that from a hospital? Because hospitality, in my experience at least, is known for do really well in the summer, do really well at Christmas, but then you have those other areas where it's maybe tipped down a bit. I mean, how do you look at it in your other venues as well, which I'm sure we'll get onto, but either here or in general, how did you strategically think about it? How do you sort of create that demand throughout the year in respect to the sustained revenue? How do you see it? Because I think that's like, if you can do that with a business, then it will continue to, you'll make more money overall because you're more consistently creating that consistent revenue.
Absolutely. And I think the big thing, you just actually used the word there, we talk about a lot in our business, is consistency. Mm-hmm. Delivering product consistently to the customer, giving consistent service. That helps to kind of get people to come to you more regularly, which obviously helps stem that kind of peaks and troughs you're talking about. Now, obviously with a site like this, I would say we have the best beer garden, cocktail garden, cider garden, whatever you want to describe it as, sat 100 feet from us currently. It is a beautiful spot down by the river, and we get a lot of passing trade from people walking from Harnham obviously into Salisbury. We also get a lot of trade come from Salisbury up just to come to our beer garden. Now, that is something that we aren't going to be able to change necessarily, but what we can do is pivot on that garden and not just make it into a garden. So come September, we are completely covering it over, and it's going to become an event space for probably the next 6 months after that. So all the way through till April. So we've got a Halloween kind of pumpkin picking experience thing lined up. There's a Santa's Grotto, a pre-bar ready to go in November time that will go all the way through to December. We'll probably have a quiet downtime in January just because the team are going to work really, really hard. And then come February, we're going to do a really cool Valentine's themed month out there. Really cool stuff. Again, we'll share all this on socials when it's finalised. I'm being tentative what I'm saying, not to kind of ruin the marketing spiel when it comes out. But then coming into kind of March, April time, we're going to have obviously a big space where we put Mother's Day out there. So we'll maximise the real peak moments. Mother's Day obviously being the busiest single day in the calendar year. We'll have a potential extra 130 covers out there to what we would normally have. And then we'll have an Easter experience out there. And then we're back ready for the summer. Again, with kind of how we bring people into this space, the beautiful restaurant we're sat in with the river flowing there behind me. I'm sure you can probably pick that up on the mic. It really is a stunning feature of the building. We really want to drive people to want to come here for an experience. So that will come through kind of the level of food that we're trying to aim for, using sustainable local produce. And the big USP is the fact that we are either already or can be 100% gluten-free. So that's something we're really going to be targeting over the next sort of 3 to 6 months, is doing packages wrapped around the bedrooms and dinner experience for those with celiac disease or those avoiding gluten. Now, the figures on that at the minute in the UK is around 6 million. So it's about 10% of the population are either actively avoiding or for medical reasons cannot consume gluten. Now, these people have birthdays every single day of the year, right? So 365 days a year, I've got a potential celiac that I can target with some marketing, go, come and stay at the Old Mill, have an amazing stay in our beautiful bedrooms, and by the way, we can do dinner for you as well, which is celiac safe. So that's something that we really will be pushing hard. As soon as we get the main kind of summer bulk out of the way, wasn't the best time to take a pub like this, kind of going into the busy period already, should we say. So we're very mindful of not trying to overload ourselves. So layers to a cake, layers to an onion, however you want to look at it, we kind of stack on top. When we get one thing right, we'll do the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. So we're hoping if I sat here this time next year, I'd be able to say to you everything I've just said, we've done it, and it's great.